As the gate opens, some figures begin to walk out of it. Some muscular, slim bodies of humanoid creatures with dog-like heads. Akhaten then says, "The army of Anubis, and with the book I have control over them." Imhotep then says, "Stop this now, Akhaten. Just please stop what you're doing." "Men," said Karl, "have your guns at ready. At my command, fire!" The Foundation agents fire with mercury bullets, but not harming them for long. Imhotep then says, "We must stop them before more get through." Of course, never have I seen such dog-like creatures. They are Anubis' small minion soldiers. If more of these get out, there's no telling what could happen. I need to get the book off Akhaten so I can control them. Then, as the Foundation agents fight them off, along with Joseph and Frank getting in on the action, and Karl also doing his best to hold them off, trying to defend themselves with weapons they get handed over to the Foundation agents firing guns at them. Helen intervenes with Imhotep and says, "Helen, you must stop this." "No, I have to stop him with you. With me, he recognizes me from my past life." "Oh, Helen, I loved you once, a very long time ago when you were an Uxor moon. I wish that you could have remembered your past life with me." "Were we lovers? Really?" Imhotep then goes in and gives her a kiss. He then says, "That is in case I don't get the chance to do it again. But maybe we'll see each other again in another life, if we cannot survive this one." Imhotep then goes up to Akhaten to confront him. He then says, "Akhaten, stop this now." "You're too late, Imhotep. Once the rest come through, I will have control. Full control over everything. You have to stop this now. The planets have aligned, yes, the worlds between worlds are weak. But I'm telling you, if you summon the army of Anubis, you could let out other things, such as Set. Set is not a fair god. He will deceive you at one point or another. With an army, I will have control and power. Just think of other things I could summon with this. The army of the Scorpion King. You have no idea what you're doing with that book. With this book, I have all the power I need. Join me, Imhotep. It is not too late. Be at my side and be my priest and advisor as you were my father. Take my side." "I am not on your side, Akhaten. I was the servant to the rightful king of Egypt. And even now, royalty has died down in Egypt." "Of course," said Akhaten. "If I could not have Egypt, then I will take the world." "Akhaten, you must stop this." Helen then walks up to Akhaten and says, "You have to stop it. Please. If I meant anything to you in a past life, you must stop this." "Anuk-Suramun, I remember you. Gosh, you look exactly like her." "Perhaps because I was her once in a previous life. I mean, I am part Egyptian from my mother's side." "Of course you are. You could even be my descendant." "I always wanted to know if my sister lived a full life. According to the history books, she became the queen, so she took my throne, just as father got his wish. I did not become king." Akhaten then forges a dagger out of sand and drives it into Helen, killing her. Imhotep then says, "No! Anuk-Suramun!" He then grabs her, holding her in her arms, saying, "It's okay. I'll find a way. I'll bring you back. I know how to do this. I am proof that I can be resurrected." "No, Imhotep. If it's true, I was your lover in one life, then I will be back again in another life. I promise you, Imhotep. I'll remember this one. I'll do my best to do so in the next life. I promise. I love..." Then she loses life and dies. Akhaten then looks down at Imhotep, then saying, "Are you ready for me now?" Imhotep then lunges and tackles Akhaten, bringing him down to the fight. The two mummies then fight one another. Imhotep then saying, "If I still had the blood connection with you, I would have drove some kind of death into me and you would have perished too. Well, you won't, Imhotep. You won't." Then Carl then grabs the book, saying, "Mr. Imhotep, I have the book. Read it for me. I can't read ancient Egyptian." "Just describe the hieroglyphs to me." "What? You're going to have a mortal read for you?" Then, "Well, there's one symbol here that's a stork, and another one that I believe is an eye," and then Imhotep tells him, "Yes, describe them to me. Describe them and tell me what they are. I can read them into the hieroglyphs." Carl then does so. Then Akhaten shouts to the guards, "Attack the man!" Then Frank and Joseph intervene, holding them off, saying, "We'll buy you some time." Then Carl continues to transcript the hieroglyphs. Then, eventually, whilst fighting Akhaten, Imhotep manages to get out a full sentence, and then says an incantation that stops the army. And then the army of what came out of the Stargate start to go back in. Going in, and Imhotep then says, "It's over, Akhaten. It's over." "No!" said Akhaten as he runs to the gate, trying to convince them to not be taken back into the next world. Then Akhaten then unleashes a whole rage, widening his mouth, preparing to let out cockroaches and diseases of all kind. "I know of your knowledge, Imhotep. I know that I am cursed with plagues, and I will unleash them on the mortals that you so greatly love." Then Imhotep grabs Akhaten, then trying to drive him into the Stargate. He then says, "What are you doing?" stopping you once and for all. Wait, you can't do this. You won't do this. I will. Frank, Joseph, Helen, she was a good woman. I just hope we do see each other again in another life. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but Akhaten here got her at her most vulnerable and killed her. I'm so sorry, men. I am so very sorry. But I will stop you, Akhaten. All I ever wanted was to be king, after my father. And you could have been king after me. Your father offered me the throne, and I would have accepted. And I would have taught you to be a better king. That's all your father ever wanted, you to be a good king. He did not want you to be a spoilt, depraved king. He wanted you to learn the values of civilians and citizens. Yet you jumped to the conclusion that he was betraying you when he wasn't. Imhotep then looks at Carl, Frank, and Joseph, then saying, "It has been an honor fighting with you men." Imhotep then walks willingly into the Stargate, taking Akhaten with him. Akhaten then shouts, "No!" as the doors then close. Imhotep then says, "You're too late. The planets have aligned, and now they've shifted again. And with my incantation, I have managed to send the army back." Imhotep then manages to shout through the gate, saying to the men, "Destroy the book! No one must ever get their hands on it!" As the portal behind the door then starts to close, Akhaten and Imhotep then spiral out of control and then separate, flowing away from further and further away from one another, falling into other rifts. Then the Stargate light dies down, and the Stargate then just becomes a door frame with doors once again. Then Frank and Joseph then run up to Helen's body, where she is dead, both weeping and crying over her body. A Foundation agent then goes up to Carl and says, "Professor, some of the men are in the best condition, some are dead. What are we going to do with that thing?" "Well, I imagine it's detachable. We'll take it." "What do you mean?" said Joseph as he cried and wept. "This gate is the property of the Foundation now. We shall make sure that whatever went in there stays in there." "What do you mean?" "Well, this event, the planets aligning, if they happen once or sometimes twice a century, then it's only a matter of time before it could do it again. Maybe not in this lifetime, but still. The Foundation can secure it and make sure that nothing goes in or out of it, and if the barriers weaken again, well, they shall be prepared. All respects for your loss, gentlemen, but I'm going to have to trust you to be quiet. I don't wish to kill you, because I've grown, well, to know you as fine gentlemen. But you do have some good archaeological skills, I'll give you that. I could find use for you at the Foundation, if you wish to accept a job there." "We're done." "Oh, Helen, I'm so sorry." "If Imhotep is right, she will be reincarnated again in some way or another. I just hope the priest was right. You may mourn her in any way you can. Does she have any family? I don't think so. I think we were the only two men that knew her well. Again, I'm terribly sorry, gentlemen. Later that night, they then leave the oasis and burn Helen's body, mourning her. Then, as the flames burn brighter, the men then see her ghost in the flames, saying, "Don't worry, gentlemen. I'll live again in another life. Hopefully I'll remember this, and I will see Imhotep again wherever he is now. Take care of yourselves." Helen then goes up into the sky, where spirits of all the dead all circle around the sky before fading away. Then Carl then asks Frank and Joseph again, "As I said, gentlemen, if you ever need a job anywhere, whether it be for your archaeological skills or even the historical archives at the Foundation, we could use men like you. Do let us know." "So what, you gonna take that Stargate?" "Yes, I've got some men that have managed to get it out of the pyramid. Was not an easy task, but we'll take it back to London, where we shall study it and, like I said, keep a close eye on it. All respects for your lost gentleman, but if you're in London, well, do look for us." 1 week later, in a Foundation laboratory, Professor Carl observes the Stargate with Dorian Gray, saying, "So, you say that this thing had an army come out of it?" "Yes, and if I'm right, it will be active once again. I just don't know when. But any student that I have who wishes to study this will have to learn the best from me, because I'm just a mere mortal human. I'm not going to be around forever." "You could always become a vampire or a lichen. Or maybe do as I did, make a deal with the devil and have it everything that could mortal you happen to a painting of yours." "I much value my soul, Mr. Gray." "So this is the Stargate," as another man walks in. "Ah, Dr. Griffin. Yes, this is the Stargate. Good to see you again, by the way. I see that you're visible. For now, my father was invisible permanently. I just become invisible at random. Then he becomes invisible, leaving only his clothes visible, saying, 'Ah, there you go. It's happened again. Stress, that's what it is.' I always wonder, if you have a child, will they have the same condition as you? I'm hoping a better whole of it, but who knows? Who knows? And this Stargate, it looks like a piece of old rock and rubble to me. It does for now, doesn't it? But I can tell you, I was there. And if this portal gateway was active once, it will be so again. Perhaps when the planets align once more. Yes, perhaps not in our lifetimes," said Griffin as he became visible again. "Ah, I see you can be visible again, sir. Well, I guess I will retire for the night. Good evening, gentlemen." Carl then instructs some other scientists to keep an eye on the portal and make sure it does not act up or anything. Then, as Carl Friend returns to his quarters, he then receives a phone call saying, "This is Carl Friend." "Ah, Joseph." Joseph on the other line then says, "Me and my brother, we've come to take you up on your offer. We could do with a job that doesn't involve digging around. Well, at least not in the dirt. You say that there is an archive job going." "Indeed. Glad you've come to reconsider, gentlemen. I'll have a word with Director Gray in the morning." "So we have some new recruits at the Foundation," said Carl Friend. 93 years later, back in the Foundation, Dorian Gray then says to these scientists that are currently guarding the Stargate, saying, "And how long's it been like this, lighting up?" "Well, sir," said one of the scientists, "it seems that it's been getting more and more active. If this planet alignment event is as true as you say it is, then whatever went in there last is probably eager to come out. Well, gentlemen, do let us know if anything different happens. I have a meeting with Director Griffin." "Of course, sir." Then Gray leaves the basement. As for one of the scientists observing the Stargate, he then hears a voice, not saying anything, just a groan of what sounds like Akhaten shouting. Then the other scientist says, "Let's just hope this idea of Griffin's is a good one. Exposing monsters to the world. Well, he says that he knows that man will know of monsters eventually. Well, let's just hope that whatever does happen isn't too bad," said the scientist. In Jack Griffin's office, Gray then looks upon his desk. As Jack looks out of the window at the setting sun, Dorian then says, "So, Jack, you really think that this Monster Squad initiative you're putting together is going to convince the world that there are good monsters in this world?" "Yes, Dorian, I am confident. Our job has been to create the illusion that man is alone for the last century and a quarter, but that illusion, as you know, is getting harder and harder to keep afloat. The world is going to know of our existence sooner or later, we best let them know that there are those out there that will protect them. So, you think this is a good idea? I do, said Jack. So this is who you have so far, is it? As he looks on his desk at these files, one file saying Count Dracula, another saying Adam Frankenstein, another one saying Ava Van Helsing, and another one saying Larry Talbot. So you've got the Wolfman on board, have you? Yes, we do. And you've got this one as well on board? Not yet. I'm about to ask him. So you're going to get him on board, are you? The creature from the Black Lagoon? The file then reveals to say, the Gill Man. We then see in the Foundation's residency, in the Gill Man's room, a water tank. And in that water tank, the Gill Man sits there, meditating, as we then see his eye. It then opens as he sees Griffin standing at the glass, as he swims over to it.